Well, good evening. I think we'll start now, and everyone can come in and find a seat. But good evening and welcome to Bethel Woods for the 19th Annual Sullivan Renaissance Awards Ceremony. It's so wonderful to see you all here on such a gorgeous day, actually a gorgeous week. I'm Sandra Gary, I'm Chair of Sullivan Renaissance, and delighted to be with you this evening. Our thoughts and prayers are with all those who were affected by the horrific and unwarranted events that took place in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio over the weekend. Please join me in a moment of silence for the victims, their families, and our country. Thank you. In light of what happened this weekend, this is a night of celebration because the beauty of this evening is that we are coming together with a sense of community, supporting each other with renewed optimism as we build a beautiful, healthy Sullivan County. To begin our evening, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To begin our evening, I'd like to introduce Kat Wilson, who will perform her original composition, Wherever You Go, that she so generously wrote for our annual conference. Please welcome Kat Wilson.
How's everybody doing? No pressure. I only know like half of you. It's a huge honor to be here tonight. Thank you for the invite. And here's a little song I wrote. Places as beautiful as this, some in the air makes it easy to miss, and no matter how far I go, can't wait to get back. Home is where you know enough to know there's nowhere else better for you than right here is true. So let's stick around, see a few things through. Do you want to plant roots, or do you want to grow old? Maybe build a fire, babe, when it gets cold. Everywhere you go, there you are. So don't let your fears take you too far from home. Choose between here or there, for love or for work, baby, wouldn't be fair, 'cause this place has a hold on me, didn't think it could. Wanna stick around and do some good. Would never ask someone to change, so why would I leave such a wonderful place? I know she isn't perfect, but for me, she's the one. And her renaissance has already begun. Do you want to plant roots, or do you want to grow old? Maybe build a fire, babe, when it gets cold. Everywhere you go, too far from home. Home. faces as beautiful as this, but something in the air makes it easy to miss.
Oh, thank you so much, Kat. That was beautiful and inspiring performance. Thank you. You do beautiful work. We are here tonight to recognize you, our Sullivan Renaissance volunteers, for your efforts and successes with nearly $500,000 in grants and scholarships. Yes. We know that you must be exhausted and excited, and I want you to know that your work is much appreciated and valued. Yesterday, I attended the debriefing with our Sullivan Renaissance judges, whom have been with us for many years. It was so gratifying and thrilling to hear their remarks, how complimentary and enthused they were with your progress over the past 19 years. Actually, they were, and I quote, amazed and blown away with your projects. They were impressed with your gardens, choice of flowers, and use of the Renaissance collection, the collaboration and camaraderie that was evident at each site. They gave special recognition to the municipalities for their ownership of beautification projects, their gateways, and code enforcement in efforts. They were particularly impressed how the DPW and the highway departments worked hand in hand with you, the volunteers, to complete your projects. The judges noticed a significant growth in our programs, and every year they very gently critique us, but they were very happy this year. They especially noticed how clean and tidy our county looks, displaying a new sense of pride. It was evident that there were participations beyond the Renaissance projects. How rewarding for all of us. So thank you so much for everything you've done. A special thanks to Denise Frangipani and the Sullivan Renaissance team, along with the steering committee, for their continued efforts and also supporting your work in the community. And what I admire most about them, it's a very happy group. They always have a smile on their face when they come back from working with you all, and it's a good team. We have been in business for 19 years now and evolving. This year, Sullivan Renaissance introduced a new initiative, Rock the Block. And I would like to present a short video that documents what took place on Washington Street in Monticello this summer. Today we're here on Washington Street to Rock the Block. It's a new initiative we have at Sullivan Renaissance to come into a community and help work with its residents and the neighborhood and the neighbors that live there to clean and spruce up their neighborhood.
Rock the Block is pulling together a community, a neighborhood, friends, our organization, and bringing together a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment.
We've partnered with Job Corps. Job Corps helped out with fixing some masonry issues on some of the steps in the houses. Also, they're assisting us with painting. BOCES provided catering. We're also connected to the Sullivan County Land Bank, which is the house right behind me. It's actually going to be sold to a gentleman that was displaced during Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico.
Speak your truth and let your spirit fly, 'cause we could be the heroes when you're feeling all alone.
They are helping me because I have to do all that kind of job by myself. Now they are here, help all the neighborhood.
We can't wait to move as soon as possible. It's a lot of work to do, but little by little, we're gonna do it. It's a big challenge, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it together.
The hope of the land bank is to start taking some of these homes that are falling into disrepair and stopping them before it gets too far gone, and hopefully bring homeowners into them and really start to rebuild the communities.
What that does for us as a community bank is really kind of connect us to our neighborhoods and connect with the people in those neighborhoods, some of which are our customers, but most of all, we're part of that community.
I feel the neighborhood is really enjoying it. Everybody's a lot more active with each other now than we were. We all knew each other a little bit, but now we know each other a whole lot more.
I think it shows that the human spirit is resilient and that people are incredible and wonderful. They just sometimes forget that. They've forgotten the journey, they've forgotten what they can do, and they've forgotten what they can do when they're a teen.
Not only have we come into neighborhoods and helped beautify and resurrect an area, but it's brought people to the table to discuss other things. As a community comes together, then they can say, well, we need to address this issue, and they've already started the conversation and they already know each other, and it becomes much easier.
As you get in a better position, you try to bring others with you and help them get to a better position so they can help someone else. And it just becomes like a revolving door of you helping people and people helping others.
I think that's the whole point of community, is getting everybody to work together and come together.
We rocked the block. It was rocked. It was great. It really was great. It was a wonderful experience, and I hope, they do another neighborhood next year and I can go help.
You take pride in the work that you do and helping others to do that. That's what this neighborhood, what Sullivan County really is all about.
Thank you to all the partners on Rock the Block. It was such a fabulous 2 days, and we had an exciting experience. We had the experience to watch a street transform into a neighborhood. And not only did it assist the people living on the street, I just have to tell you this one little story. There was a dog there who was always outside chained to a tree. And he didn't have a house, and it was cold when we first went down there. And so we got Chomp the dog, a dog house. And when Juan delivered it, the dog walked around the house and he marked it a few times. And then the second day, he was on top of the doghouse. He had claimed it. And Juan had sent me a wonderful picture, but I wanted to end the film with that, but it wasn't a high enough resolution, but he loved his doghouse too. So it was really good. So Juan Jourdain, along with Helen Budrock, spearheaded this program. And I'd like you to welcome Juan Jourdain. He's our Neighborhood Revitalization Coordinator. He's the newest member of our Sullivan Renaissance team, and he will share with you some of the details. So thank you, Juan. You did a great job. You did a great job. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sandra. So I'd just like to thank everyone for being here tonight and joining us for the awards and celebrating all our volunteers. But I'd like to take a moment just to talk about Rock the Block. Like Sandra said, Rock the Block is our new initiative to bring the same energy, care, and love, love that we pour into our towns, villages, and public spaces, but into neighborhoods. Beautifying and restoring communities to what they once were. We picked Washington Street because of all the potential, but what we didn't know at the time was that there was some amazing people living there. From the very beginning, they were side by side with us and embraced the concept of Rock the Block every step of the way. So with that, I'd really just like to ask anybody who was involved with Rock the Block, whether it be volunteering, donating, in any form, fashion, or facet, to please stand up. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Denise Frangipani, Executive Director of Sullivan Renaissance, and I just want to take a few minutes and appreciate your patience as we thank and acknowledge some folks who've joined us this evening, especially some of our elected officials and our dignitaries who are here. And if you could just, we'll hold our applause for just a moment because there are several. And I think it really speaks to the volume of the commitment of our leadership in the community alongside their confidence and their belief in the work that all of you are doing as volunteers. So from our Sullivan County legislature, we have Scott Samuelson, District 1 legislator, Catherine Owens, District 4 legislator, and Louis Alvarez, our chairman, all here this evening with us. Our Deputy County Manager, John Lytle, is here, new to the community, moving into Liberty, New York, buying a home here. Thank you for believing in Sullivan County and joining us here. From the town of Delaware, Ed Sykes, the town of Fremont, Mr. George Conklin, from the town of Highland, Jeff Haas, town of Mamakating, Will Herman, town of Neversink, Chris Matthews, and the town of Thompson, Bill Reber. Thank you to all of our supervisors. As Sandra said, the judges really pointed out to us this year how much it meant for municipalities to be involved. And our volunteers can take things to a certain point, but without the support of municipalities, at a minimum, it can be frustrating, but what they really need is you to help them move it to the next level. And when everybody buys in, that's when we see the real transformation. So that's our town. And our community partners, Sullivan Renaissance, we work with a lot of people. We never do this work alone. So although we stand here this evening to present you with this program, it's really not about us. So I want to first start by thanking our host, Bethel Woods Center for the Arts, and all of the incredible team that works here that helped us pull this event together, especially this year in the midst of everything else. It's just a little anniversary maybe you have heard about. Yes, that we were like, oh, can we have a little award ceremony, by the way? So thank you to the Bethel Woods team for letting us crash the party. Additionally, we partner with the Sullivan County Division of Public Works, and I know the Commissioner Ed McAndrew was here, and our airport superintendent, James Arnott, was here as well. We have from the Division of Planning. They are truly our side-by partners, and most of what we do in the grant review that we have. I think the whole entire planning department was here. If you're here, just stand up and wave so everybody knows. Freda and Cassandra and Shannon. I know Jill was here earlier. Our friends at Cornell Cooperative Extension, Melinda was here, Sue Ann, I saw Wanda here, I'm not sure if anyone else, Cornell, we love our friends at Cornell. Our friends at Sullivan 180, Sandy Rowland is here, Samantha Mango is here. The next generation of building a healthy community, our friends at the Chamber of Commerce, Jamie is here, brought new energy to our Sullivan County Chamber. I'm sure I'm gonna miss somebody because this is a very long list, so forgive me. I'm turning the page. It's 2 pages. Let's see. Nancy McGraw is here from Public Health. Thank you, Nancy, for making time out of your busy day. Mark is here from the Sullivan County Partnership. Can't emphasize enough how important the work that these volunteers do in the community contributes to economic development. When people think about investing someplace, they're looking at what's going on around them. Jay Quaintance is here from SUNY Sullivan. We need our college as a strong partner in the community. I need my other glasses. We'll hear a little bit from Liz Riley and Tim McCausland from the Community Foundation. And I would like to acknowledge Roberta Byron Lockwood from the Sullivan County Visitors Association. We'll get to that in just a moment. I do want to also acknowledge our steering committee because they're sort of behind the scenes on things. So would our steering committee members please stand up if you're still with us so we can just thank you. They serve as our board of directors, really. They guide the work that we do. Nicole, Barry, Dally, Jerry Skoda, Fred Stabber. You'll hear from some of them this evening as well. They drive judges, they review grants, they help us really behind the scenes along the way. And I am very lucky. I have the great fortune of facilitating an incredible team of people at Sullivan Renaissance. And we heard from the judges how much you love them, but you don't love them as much as I do. I do. I was noticing this week that with all the excitement building up to all what you must be feeling as volunteers and the exhaustion you must be feeling, the staff in our building are feeling equally as excited, maybe a little bit tired, but mostly excited for you and all that you're doing. So the Sullivan Renaissance team, Helen, Corey, Christy, everybody. Oh, there we go. There they are. There they all are. Beautiful people. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I would like to invite a very special person up to the podium. We have a lot of support from our elected folks, and I want to start the evening by inviting up our newly elected senator, although she's not so new anymore, and she's been making miles around Sullivan County, Senator Jen Metzger, to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. So, first of all, I just want to give a huge round of applause to every volunteer, every municipal official, every organization that was part of this, because I've never actually seen anything like this before, and I am so blown away by this community effort, you know, at every level. So, thank you for that. So it's such a pleasure to be here this evening at the Sullivan Renaissance Annual Awards Ceremony, helping to recognize and celebrate the volunteers and communities that have contributed so much to beautifying Sullivan County and also contributing to that sense of place that makes Sullivan County so special and makes everyone that lives there so proud. It's so important to have that. For almost 20 years now, Sandra Gary's vision of neighbors in Sullivan County, joining together to improve their shared community experience, along with the investment in funding, time, and commitment that Sandra and Alan have made to the county, has truly transformed Sullivan. And under Denise Frangipani's leadership and the whole team here, we are seeing that these months of focusing on quality of life and improving neighborhoods block by block, street by street, flower basket by flower basket, brings people together and makes an enormous difference. I also want to acknowledge my partner in the legislature, Aileen Gunther, who has supported this event with all her heart and in every other way, and just I know few people more just thoroughly and extraordinarily dedicated to this county. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. So these works of heart, which I love that phrase, works of heart, because that's what they are, made possible by Sullivan Renaissance and all of you, all of the volunteers that are working on that, is what makes Sullivan County such a beautiful and inviting place to live, work, and visit and be a part of. Thank you to Sandra, to Alan, and Denise, and Aileen, and every single one of you for being a part of this. Your commitment and enthusiasm is incredible, and I wanted to spread out across the rest of our Senate district and the state. You've created an incredible foundation of community here, and I look forward to watching and helping it grow in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Every year, Aileen makes time out of her schedule to be here, and she stays until the bitter end. So let that be our advice to all of the rest of the electeds. I'd like to also acknowledge our county clerk, Dan Briggs, who is here with us this evening, and also our county treasurer, Nancy Buck, who attends our event almost every single year. So thank you, Nancy. I know that takes time, but I think it's important to realize the support that you have among the community. At this point, I'd like to invite up our legislative chairman, Louis Alvarez, who'd like to say a few words.
You said very short, not 45 minutes. Good evening. Usually, I'm going to say that recently I saw a movie, and I had to ask John Conway again, what was the end of the name of the movie? Next Act. So everybody knows that I always talk about how beautiful Sullivan County is, and I really emphasize that I was very privileged for working for the sheriff's office, got paid to drive around and around and around, looking at every different place in Sullivan County. So the initiative of 19 years ago when Renaissance started, and I saw it, and every time I would drive around and I say, look at all these volunteers, all these people doing this work here, and moving part of our community back again to the beauty that it had before. But when I saw the movie Next Act, it reminded me of my first days, my first years working for the sheriff's office, when all the hotels were open, Grossinger's was open. I was there when Grossinger was open, the Browns was open, the Concord was open, and everything around here. I used to walk, because I used to work for Liberty PD, and I used to walk the street of Liberty, and it was all kind of business, and everything was there. Next Act. I look at what we've done here with Renaissance, all these accomplishments, and this is the next act. We are the next act. We volunteer. Everybody here who works. This is not just one single person, and I'm very proud to listen to all the people who participated from the county, because I remember when, I know Fred is hiding in the back around there someplace, but I remember the first time Fred and me went down to Newburgh to learn what the land bank was. Where are you, Freda? I know she's someplace. And Jill became in charge of the land bank. And we would sit there and say, do you think this is going to work? When I saw what you did in Washington Street, when I'm looking at this right now, well, it is working. And to see that somebody came from my island, from Puerto Rico, to see how devastated they are, to see what's happening there right now, and to see them so happy that they have a house really brings tears into me, but it really makes me feel happy that Sullivan County is doing something. And I'm tired of listening to the negativity about Sullivan County when there is so much beauty, so much work, and so much devotion and dedication by each one of you that are sitting there. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank our District Attorney Jim Farrell for joining us this evening. Hopefully we'll be on our best behavior and we won't need to follow up with you. I have my glasses now, this will be better. So I talked about partnerships, and this year we received a call from the Visitors Association asking us to play with them a little bit, and we were happy to take the invitation. And at this point I want to invite up Roberta Byron Lockwood to say a few words about our work together.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to be really quick because I know it's a long evening and an exciting evening, and I applaud everybody in this room because you are what makes this county so absolutely incredible and gives us that Sullivan Catskill pride. So thank you. This year we embarked on a little project, 50 doves, that we wanted to bring to our county to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Festival. And we were very pleased to see the excitement and the enthusiasm that happened, but more than that, the partnerships. And on that, I want to thank Renaissance because I reached out to Denise, and I said, would you like to partner and talk to us about this, along with the county that joined us on this project? And Denise not only joined us. She became a part of the committee, and she and Helen worked very diligently on each of the doves that were placed throughout our county. And with that, you do so much great work for us here in Sullivan County Renaissance. And I want to take that couple of minutes to say thank you to you. There was a little saying that I saw out there that the author I don't have, but it was, no one person can whistle a symphony. It takes an orchestra. And let me tell you, do we have an orchestra in this county? It's 5 by 7, but it's only 5 inch by 7, not the 5 foot by 7 foot. But we'd like to thank you, Renaissance, for your partnership on our dove trail. And we just want you to have this commemorative dove to remember the good work you've done and the excitement that you brought to every one of our counties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And this is for you. And I'll take my glasses and thank you.
If you can just indulge me for one more moment, because many of the staff will be on stage this evening speaking with you about the programs that they work with. But there are some people who work behind the scenes, and they are equally as important, and at some points even more important than those of us who are at the front, because they keep us moving. So I just want to acknowledge them if I can. Our fiscal manager, Kathleen Capizzoli, our marketing and events coordinator, the woman behind the curtain back there with the rest of the IT folks, Corey Dame. Our horticulture crew this season, I think, was the best crew ever. Yes? Yes? Okay. And that was Dan Danza, Hans Zanger, and also Mackenzie Mitchell, who was working in some communities. Samantha Dorn, who you'll see later on, our program assistant, Colleen Emery, our project coordinator. You heard from Juan earlier, and Christy Turbush, our administrative assistant, who without her support, I don't know that we would actually be able to get through a particular day in the office, let alone this type of event. So thank you, Christy. Okay. All right. So now, on to the awards. This is the best part. We've been really amazed at Renaissance how many young people we hear, whether it be through their scholarship essay or their application or an interview or just in passing, are telling us that they love living in Sullivan County. And they may leave, and that's okay, but many of them are interested in actually coming back. Or if they're not going to come back here, they're looking for another community that is comparable, that they can be part of something that will make a change and make a difference. And to me, that is really telling of the work that you all are doing. So we're going to start out with our scholarships, and I'd like to invite up the president of our college, Jay Quaintance, to announce our first scholarships for SUNY Sullivan.
Wow. So first I would really like to thank Sandra, Denise, and the entire Renaissance crew for the work that they do to coordinate this unbelievable effort of volunteers, and to thank the volunteers for their participation in transforming Sullivan County. It is truly amazing to watch. And it's, my wife and I have been here for 3 years, and Renaissance and the college and the commitment to community is why we chose to be here. There are many places that we could have gone in New York State. There are many places that we could have gone in the US, but we chose Sullivan County because of the commitment of people in this room and the people who share in that vision and who people share in that work to really take a place and elevate it with collective vision and collective work. I just don't know how else to say it, but thank you for your effort and thank you for your time. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of colleagues who are also here, Chef Michael Bell and Kathy Scullion, who joined me from SUNY Sullivan tonight. Without their efforts, the awards that we're about to make would not be as interesting or as important as they are. It's their vision that has really created that kind of culture at SUNY Sullivan that allows us to encourage students and grow students and really create the next generation of young people who are going to become the leaders in Sullivan County. And I'm hopeful that they'll stick around and not leave. So the first scholarship award goes to Zachary Ocasio of Monticello. Zachary graduated from Monticello High School this past June, and he'll be majoring in computer graphics this fall. The spring and summer, he has been involved in the Hudson River Healthcare Renaissance Project, where he's volunteered to weed, water, and plant flowers. Those around him know what an asset he is. He has worked with his community pool, has been a member of the county's Youth Bureau Coalition, and has volunteered with Hudson River Healthcare to help those less fortunate than himself during the holidays. He's applauded by folks for being a team player. He rises to the challenges put before him, and he is driven by a desire to do well in his community. I'm pleased to welcome Zachary Ocasio to the stage and present him with a Sullivan Renaissance Scholarship for $1,000. Our next recipient is Natalian Bayron of Wurtsboro. Natalia has participated in events across campus. She's been very active in our garden club. In fact, she's the most active member of the garden club. She shows up to every meeting. She takes a leadership role. She has been participating in the garlic, onion, and seed plantings and transplantings, as well as weeding our community garden. And for those of you who have not been to campus in a while, I would encourage you to come see the community garden, come visit Hope Farm, and check your social media, because there's going to be an event that we would love to have all of you at very, very soon in the coming months. She also helped coordinate something I never knew existed, National Kale Day. I really like kale, so I'm totally down. And our New York Apple Crunch event, as well as helped with bake sales and seed sales, worked to bring campus awareness to our food pantry. And for those of you who don't know, food insecurity is actually a real issue for community college students and college students across the country. We do have a very active food pantry on our campus. We're one of the first colleges in the SUNY system to have a food pantry on campus, and it's a game changer for people. Food insecurity is something that it's kind of under the radar a little bit, because we look at college students as though they are, I don't know, somehow more elevated participants in our culture and society than they sometimes are. And I would encourage all of you to donate to the food pantry and help us in any way you can. It's a major, major game changer for students in terms of their ability to complete their college education. And community colleges are really the greatest engine of social mobility in the US and certainly in New York State. And food insecurity is one of the greatest hurdles that many of our students face. So thank you for that help. This summer, Natalia was also accepted into the National Institute of Health Bridges to the Baccalaureate program, which is a program that NIH sponsors in New York State. It's at SUNY Purchase, and she spent 6 weeks there this summer doing a hands-on research project. Her group's project was to study non-native Asian shore crab, which I have no idea what that is, but it sounds something we don't want here in our watershed. So I'm glad for her work on that. It's a great experience for students, and undergraduate research, again, is a game changer for students who are looking to move beyond the baccalaureate degree and move into a graduate studies program. Undergraduate research shows graduate studies programs and graduate studies entrance committees and scholarship committees that these are students who are committed to doing research and forwarding the next generation of knowledge. And so I can't say enough that Natalia's participation in that can not just transform her life, but also potentially transform all of our lives by the research that she would generate through that. So please join me in welcoming Natalia to the stage to receive a $1,000 Renaissance Scholarship.
I'd like to invite Elizabeth Rowley and Tim McCausland from the Community Foundation to present the Sullivan Renaissance Scholarships. This is a fund that we work in partnership with the Community Foundation to award scholarships for work done in Sullivan County.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Rowley, President and CEO of the Community Foundation of Orange and Sullivan. I'm joined by Tim McCausland, the Chairman of our Board of Directors. We are honored to be a proud partner of Sullivan Renaissance in administering their scholarship fund. And just last week, Tim and our Director of Development, Michelle Hathaway, who was here earlier, spent some time reviewing applications and choosing the lucky recipients this year. This fund at the Community Foundation does provide scholarships annually to participants in Sullivan Renaissance who have made a significant volunteer contribution to a project annually. So I'm going to welcome the scholarship recipients up on stage, and we have some envelopes to hand out.
That's my job.
Yes, that's Tim's job, so let me hand him the envelopes.
Thank you.
So we're going to first welcome Nathaniel DePaul from Livingston Manor, who's attending SUNY Albany. And maybe we'll ask you all to wait up on stage, and we'll take a group photo at the end, please. Samantha Dorn from Rock Hill, who's attending SUNY Geneseo. Hunter Ferrerio from the town of Thompson, who's attending Wilkes University. And Mackenzie Mitchell from Rock Hill, who's attending Elmira College. I also want to make quick mention of two other scholarship recipients who are unable to be here tonight, who are Haley Kovenbach of Lumberland, who will be attending, this is another tricky one, Misericordia University, and Liesl Schlott of Berryville, who attends Lackawanna College.
Good evening. I'm Ann Louise Scandariato, and I'm the Volunteer Program Manager. And I'm going to invite any of our Volunteer Corps members to the stage now. Come on up. Brian O'Connell, former Wall Street bond trader and author, said, "Volunteering creates a national character in which the community and the nation take on a spirit of compassion, camaraderie, and confidence." The Sullivan Renaissance Volunteer Corps is a group of inspired, community-minded ambassadors who offer vital assistance to the Sullivan Renaissance program. It connects volunteers with area places and with one another while instilling pride and local participation and in Sullivan County communities. We have room for everyone. Come on, don't be shy, we'll all step forward. Volunteers provide support through gardening, office assistance, outreach, co-leading classes, and much more. The Volunteer Corps does it all. I'm delighted to introduce some of the members of the 2019 Sullivan Renaissance Volunteer Corps, who will receive their certificates of recognition at our annual appreciation gathering in November. When I read your name, please wave to be recognized. Tommy Abelson. Woohoo! Sylvia Badowski. Janet Barberite. Miranda Barsh. Adele Berger. Sarah Buddy. Joyce Karachi. Patrick Chesley, Brian Connolly, Jeffrey Connolly, Khadidra Diaz, Brian Dennis, Natasha Ellett, Bruce Elswig, Karen Elswig, Craig Eversley, James Filgry, Carrie Fillinger, I'm sorry I said that wrong, Rebecca Friedman, Christy Ford, Felicia Garadio, Nate Ganner, Dennis Houston, Martha Johnson, Fouad Caridian, Karen Caridian, Lisa King, Robert Knight, Sheila Lazinski, Stephen Lyles, Stephen, you're here, Mary Mancuso, Julia Mash, Beth Mastro, Diane Moss, Lesbia Neforis, Nelson Perez, Dorothy Quaintance, Heather Quaintance, Ida Richter, Al Russell, Ed Schutte, Fred Schutte, Maggie Schutte, Brenda Sherman, Ronald Sherman, Gifford Shriver, Tyler Stein, James Tormey, Michael Weddle, Christina Winterbauer. Thank you to all the volunteers taking part in this program and for your commitment to our communities. We welcome anyone who is interested in joining this happy and fulfilled group of volunteers. Yeah, we do. Oh, you know it, Tommy. Yeah. Thank you very much. My role at Sullivan Renaissance also includes working with our internship program that combines paid summer employment with leadership development through hands-on service learning and discussion of community topics. Through heat, humidity, wind, and rain, these dedicated young people make a significant positive impact in their communities. The internship program is a partnership between the Sullivan Renaissance, the Center for Workforce Development, and Sullivan County personnel. At this time, I would like to invite Samantha Dorn, Sullivan Renaissance's program assistant, to help recognize our interns. Samantha joined us in May and seamlessly became part of the staff. She has worked closely with the volunteer and intern programs, as well as provided priceless support to the entire program. Thank you, Samantha. So it is my pleasure to introduce this year's interns. Please hoot and holler for your group, okay? Mikhail Baptiste from the town of Delaware. This is Mikhail's second year with the program. Robert Bonakai, town of Bethel. Thank you, Robert. Corinne Hellerer from Swan Lake Renaissance. Thank you, Corinne. Arlie Marin Leone from the village of Jeffersonville. Thank you, Arlie. Emily McCurry from the town of Thompson. Woohoo! Thank you, Emily. Jess Ouimet from Livingston Manor Renaissance. Thank you, Jess. There you go. Priya Patel from the town of Liberty. Thank you, Priya. Kyle Palumshin from the town of Neversink. Thank you, Kyle. Unable to be here this evening are Juan J. Journet, who will be working with White Sulphur Springs Sullivan First, Haley Colvenbach from the town of Lumberland Parks and Recreation, and Liesel Schalt, from Greater Barryville Chamber of Commerce and Narrowsburg Beautification Group. She did double duty. Thank you for all your great work. Arlie has been an intern since 2015 and is a member of the steering committee. She will be speaking about her experience working in Jeffersonville. Yep, go on, Arlie. Oh, he wants to take a picture first, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Arlie Marin, and as Anne-Louise said, I'm the intern of Village of Jeffersonville. I have had the honor of participating in the Sullivan Renaissance internship program for 4 years now. Throughout these 4 years, not only have I acquired gardening, communication, and leadership skills, but I've also learned what it means to participate in the welfare of my community. When the Sullivan Renaissance internship program was introduced to me by Denise Frangipani, the town of Bethel was looking for an intern to help with their gardens. I was intrigued by the idea of dealing with flowers and also looking for another summer job. Once my application was accepted, I was so happy. But then I realized, wow, I don't have any gardening skills except for watering. Soon, I was reassured that Sullivan Renaissance was having like a training day, which I was so happy. I was like, oh, I hope they teach me how to like actually pull weeds and how to like mulch and stuff like that, and which they did. They helped me like deadhead, edge, properly put flowers, which I did not know. There's like a specific way. It's like a technique. But after learning all of that and learning commonly like weeds, I realized even though I get training every year, I still need help. And I always ask Barbara Buchuk. She's a wonderful gardener, let me tell you. She's helped me so many times. Every time I'm about to like pluck a flower, I always ask her, is this a weed? Because, I don't want to mess up the garden. But to this very day, I still ask her. I'm not ashamed. I don't want to, pull out a plant. And I want to help my community look better, feel proud of it too, and I still do. I feel proud of my community every single day because I help my community look better and also bring, tourists, help the businesses. It leads to this great impact. And after receiving a great deal of information about gardening, which I'm so happy about, I was able to gain some confidence over the years and improve my skills. However, not only did I improve my gardening skills, but also improved my communication skills. It was imperative that I communicated clearly with my supervisor in order to ensure that the flowers were being watered enough or that any other task that was required of me was completed by a set date. Furthermore, I would encounter passerby every day asking for directions to restaurants, activities to do in the community, and what I was doing with a 150-gallon tank of water. I've become more confident with interacting with a wide variety of individuals and addressing any concerns or questions they may have. The Sullivan Renaissance internship program has also helped me improve my leadership skills over the years. As part of my duties, I had to lead and direct many volunteers to complete tasks such as gardening, mulching, and picking up garbage along the streets. I also had to be a leader for my younger brother this year when he began working in the gardens with me. I'll continue to use the leadership skills that I have acquired from these experiences for many years to come. Through this program, I was able to hone my gardening, communication, and leadership skills and grow as a person. Being part of the Sullivan Renaissance team didn't just mean beautify my own community, but build friendships. I was able to bond with the staff and interns by telling them stories about my fight against the gator I used to water the flowers in the town. Through this internship, I have now become a professional at jump-starting not only a gator, but a car. I am also very proud of where I live and can see the positive impact Sullivan Renaissance has had on both my community and county. I am one of the many interns and volunteers who work hard to make their community into a place that attracts new people and businesses into the area, allowing the community to prosper. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alan Frischman, and this year Sullivan Renaissance took a different approach to working with our seasonal communities by extending an invitation to any seasonal property, be it religious or non-secular, to participate. Although all were invited to participate, we focused more intentionally on properties that showed some interest and potential, either as a prior Renaissance participant or on their own. Applicants were awarded up to $5,000 in a matching reimbursable grant to address issues of beautification or general projects that would improve the appearance of their properties, such as fencing or signage. Due to the seasonality of the properties, these participants were given to the end of August to complete all of their work. However, they were still evaluated for the works in progress. The panel included Samantha Dorn from Sullivan Renaissance, Cassandra Johnstone from Sullivan County Planning, and Jerry Skoda, Steering Committee member. I would also like to acknowledge Kathleen Capizzola, Fiscal Manager, for her administrative support of this program. Kathy, thank you. Please join me in welcoming Sullivan Renaissance Steering Committee member Jerry Skoda and Chrissy Walsh of Thompson Sanitation to introduce this year's participants. Come on up.
Good evening. What a day for a celebration, and it truly is a celebration for Sullivan County, for all of you to come out and volunteer and be a part of Sullivan Renaissance. The 6 participants in this year's program were involved in a variety of projects, including installing fencing, planting trees, and landscape at their properties. It was a special day for me to be able to judge. One of the judges was unable to attend that day, so I took his place. There were 3 summer camps that were part of this program this year, and 2 were camps that specialize in children with disabilities. And it's amazing what these camps are doing with their kids and the experience that these children are getting here in Sullivan County. The flowers, the attractive settings must all be part of their camping experience and make it a much better outlook on life. Sullivan Renaissance is honored to have these enhancement projects. I'll start in order. Camp Bonus Ahavis Israel of Liberty, please come on the stage. Come on up. Next is Camp Hask of Parksville. Join us on the stage. We'll wait until everyone's up here. Camp Sitka of Glen Spey. Leisure Lake Estates in Liberty. Steve's Camp at Horizon Farms in Livingston Manor. and the club at Smallwood. And here are the results. Receiving a completion grant in the amount of $250 for sign improvement and participation is Steve's Camp at Horizon Farms. Now, I might explain that these groups got an amount of money, they developed a budget, and then half of their budget was approved. So these are awards that we're giving in addition to for all the work that they did and the good work that they did. Next is receiving a completion grant in the amount of $250 for a new gazebo and participation, and that's Camp Hask. Receiving a $500 award for welcoming appearance to their community is the club at Smallwood. And I'll give her some free advertising. Anyone here can go use the pool at Smallwood, right?
Welcome to come down and see our beautiful grounds. You don't have to live in Smallwood.
There you go. Receiving a $500 award for their selection of trees and stonework is Ahavas Israel. Receiving a $1,000 award for a job well done replacing chain link fence with decorative fencing, Camp Simca. Thank you all. Now time for a picture.
Good evening. I'm Diana Wiener, the Horticulture Program Manager at Sullivan Renaissance. I'm very happy to be here this evening to introduce the beautification part of our program. This is truly the core of Renaissance. Over the last 19 years, we have branched out, experimented with, and invested in several different program areas. Looking at this evening's program, you can see that our grants have evolved in response to the needs of Sullivan County, as well as the interests of the volunteers and the communities like all of you. But it has always come back to the garden and the power of flowers. The beautification program and all that it offers continues to remain the core of our program. It is the perfect place to come together, create something beautiful, and then pause to wonder, what's next? To start us off, I have the pleasure of presenting this year's maintenance grants. This program provides funding, technical assistance, and other support for maintenance of previously funded Sullivan Renaissance beautification projects at a single location, such as churches, schools, libraries, and other community institutions. This year, 13 groups received up to $500, each, as well as access to additional funds for annuals, bulbs, and capital improvement. These groups are competing for a total of $4,500 in showing of flowers and Judge's Choice Awards. Maintenance grant projects were judged by Mary Lewis and Peter Patel. Mary Lewis is the founder of the garden design firm Barncraft and is the past president of the Garden Club of Orange and Dutchess counties. Peter is a certified nursery landscape professional and owner of Arbor Heights Designs. He is also a certified arborist and the horticulturist for the Orange County Arboretum and a member of the Tri-County Nursery Association. Steering committee members Cindy Cashin and Jerry Skoda drove the judges this weekend to tour the projects. Please join me in welcoming Dawn Corsieri from Bold Gold Media and Lori Stewart from the River Reporter to the stage to present the awards. Please note the place in your program and join us on stage as your project is called. This year's maintenance grant participants are Bats for Veterans in Liberty, Firemen's Firemen's 9/11 Memorial Park, Smallwood Mongup Valley Fire Department, yep. Dynamite Youth Center in Fallsburg. Ethelbert B. Crawford Library in Monticello. Hudson River Healthcare in Monticello. Liberty United Methodist Church. Literacy Volunteers of Sullivan County in Monticello. Loomis Area Neighborhood Watch in Liberty. Mamakating Library in Wurtsboro. Phillipsport Community Center. St. James Episcopal Church in Callicoon. St. John's Episcopal Church in Monticello. St. Peter's Church in Liberty. A big round of applause.
And the moment you've all been waiting for. The first Judge's Choice Award of $750 is awarded for best practice in using colorful annuals at entrance and sign gardens. And the award goes to... I told you were waiting for it. St. Peter's Church. The second Judge's Award of $750 is awarded for best practice in the use of native and pollinating plants within a sustainable design. And the award goes to... Mamakating Library.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, so I get to do the big one, I guess they say. The Best Overall Showing of Flowers Award of $3,000 goes to Is this the envelope? I don't know. Who does it go to? Is this it? Oh. Liberty United Methodist Church. Go out there. Good job. Good job. Picture, picture. Smaller.
Moving on now to garden. The garden category was judged by Ann Smith and Michael Sweeten. Ann is an avid gardener who served on the board of Cornwall Garden Club and works at Devitt's Garden and Supply in New Windsor. Michael Sweeten is a certified nursery professional and Town of Warwick supervisor. Steering committee members Kathy Davidoff and Annalise Vogel drove Ann and Michael to see the projects this weekend. Please join me in welcoming Ann Smith and Michael Sweeten to the stage.
Okay, we are happy to be here tonight to recognize all the participants in the Garden Grant Program. And I just want to say that Ann and I have judged for many years and have had the honor of visiting so many of your communities across Sullivan County. And I will tell you, it's an amazing thing that is happening here. And I know you live it day to day, so maybe you don't see it, but it is truly amazing what is happening across this county. So Sullivan Renaissance has given you the tools and a little financial help, but each and every one of you are making this happen. You are just infusing community spirit throughout this county. You're creating beauty, economic development efforts, and you are elevating Sullivan County to the top of the list of counties in this great state of New York. So congratulations to all of you. The Garden Grant Program provides funding to create new gardens and beautification projects at a single location, such as sign gardens, building landscaping, and small public parks. This year, 12 groups received initial grants of up to $1,500 each, and will be competing for a total of $12,000 in awards tonight. Very exciting. At this time, I would like to invite Sullivan County historian and publisher of the Sentinel newspaper, John Conway, up to help us present the awards and make a few remarks. John?
I wasn't expecting to make a few remarks, but I was moved by something that Senator Metzger said earlier about a sense of place and how important that is, and I think it's something that's sorely lacking throughout much of America today, and I compliment the Renaissance effort to bring that back. You know, shortly after Renaissance began many years ago, it was 18, 19 years ago, I sent Sandra Gary a note and I said, I sincerely believe that Sullivan Renaissance is the single most important grassroots effort ever undertaken in Sullivan County's history. It was just a tiny molecule compared to what it's grown into today. So I know you did. But I compliment you on what you've done with that seed, how it's grown, and of course, the really significant part of it is that you've had so many people help you with that. So congratulations to all of Sullivan County for being part of Renaissance. And I think a sense of place is so important, and you've helped bring it back. So thank you very much for that. And thank you.
Okay, so please take note of your place in the program and join us on stage as your project is called. This year's Garden Grant participants are Catskill Fly Fishing Museum for a welcome sign and garden in Livingston Manor. Church of St. Peter, Rectory Garden and Landscaping in Monticello. Claryville Reformed Church, Church Grounds Beautification, Claryville. The Liberty Garden Club, Community Garden Mini Park, Liberty. Loch Sheldrake Fire District, Entrance Enhancement, Loch Sheldrake. The Mamakating Little League, Sign Garden and Bleachers, Wurtsboro. Monticello United Methodist Church, Meditation Garden in Monticello. St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church, Reflect and Gaze Garden, Liberty. Sunshine Hall Free Library, Deck Landscaping and Enhancement, Eldred. Town of Highland Restoration of Eagle Park Garden, Eldred. United Church of Roscoe, Western Sullivan Public Library, Flower Bed Renovation, Jeffersonville. So let's have a big round of applause for all of these participants. All the projects were great. They were super. So let's get on to the really exciting stuff here now. The first Judge's Choice Award of $2,000 for historic restoration and beautification is awarded to...
Did we get a drum roll? No. Okay. Claryville Reformed Church.
Where's your plaque? The second Judge's Choice Award of $500 for Best Curb Appeal is awarded to...
Church of St. Peter.
Yeah. And the final Judge's Choice Award of $500 for Best Public Building Enhancement is awarded to...
Loch Sheldrake Fire Department.
So early on in the program, the wow factor, the knock your socks off factor for flowers, right, was the big theme, and that's still a theme. And so the Showing of Flowers Award is for the project whose floral display most wows the judges, and this really did. So the best overall Showing of Flowers Award of $3,000 goes to...
This one's a little hard. Town of Highland.
Town of Highland.
Take this with you.
It's stunning. If you haven't been there, you should go look. The third place award in this competition is for $1,000, and it is awarded to St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church. The second place award of $2,000 is awarded to
Monticello United Methodist Church.
And our first place award of $3,000 is awarded to
Liberty
Garden Club.
We're more than halfway there. I know it's a long evening, and I just want to thank everyone for staying for the whole program, because whatever you're doing in your community is only multiplied by what's happening around you. So it's really the collective effort that's making Sullivan County move forward. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carmela Ugel, Beautification Coordinator for Sullivan Renaissance. I am happy to be here this evening to present this year's Community Beautification Grant participants. The Community Beautification Grant Program provides funding for community-wide beautification, and they are at more than one location. Excuse me. I can hear me just fine. Okay. This year, 8 groups, I'm all thrown off now. This year, 8 groups received initial grants of up to $2,500 each, as well as access to additional funds for annuals, bulbs, and capital improvements. They are competing for the total of $32,000 in awards. Join me in welcoming Les Chris from Chris Company to help recognize this year's participants.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you on the eve of the 50th anniversary of the most significant event in the history of Sullivan County, a very proud person. I'm very proud of what we have all accomplished together. 19 years ago, we in Sullivan County were beginning to flounder. The 50th anniversary of Woodstock was not even a blip on our radar. We seemed to have forgotten how beautiful our county could be. We seemed to be getting lost in a wilderness of an overgrown forest with weeds everywhere and with a fading sense of pride. This was the ambiance that prompted Sullivan Renaissance to come into existence, to try and be the catalyst to get us to regain our desire to be great again. Well, Sullivan Renaissance is doing just that. As any great project to regain one's footing, it takes a long while with a great deal of work to get where one wants to be. Look at how far we have come in these 19 years. With the help of Sullivan Renaissance to spur us, we have beautified our villages and townships, our firehouses, our churches and synagogues, our camps, our businesses, and our parks. Most importantly, our attitudes have changed. We know again that we can be winners. This year, we have together in Sullivan County proudly painted and displayed 50 wonderful doves to signify not only the spirit of Woodstock, but the spirit of renewed greatness here. We now proudly are showing the renewed beauty of our county off to the myriads of people who are visiting us to celebrate Woodstock at 50. Let us rejoice for the next month in the culmination of the first 19 years of Sullivan Renaissance as the world takes note of how well we are progressing and how rich and great our history is here. Let us all have fun. Hey, I'm going to see Arlo and Ringo and Santana and Fogerty. I ask you all, can it get any better than that? Here is to the next many years of progress and pride. Thank you, Sullivan Renaissance, for your help and inspiration. Together we can do almost anything. Thank you.
Please note your place in the program and come on stage as your project is called. This year's Community Beautification Grant participants are Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce, Berryville Four Corners Enhancement. Jeffersonville Gems, Downtown Beautification. Liberty High School Art Walk Downtown. Livingston Manor Renaissance Community-Wide Beautification. Naresburg Beautification Group, Flowers to the People. Swan Lake Renaissance, Community-Wide Beautification. Town of Lumberland Parks and Recreation, Welcome Gardens and Entry Sign Revitalization. White Sulphur Springs, Sullivan First, growing better all the time. This year, community beautification grant projects were judged by Donna Harrison and Deborah Sweeten. Donna Harrison has an extensive background in community services and horticulture, having served as a judge with America in Bloom and its Canadian counterparts, Communities in Bloom. Deborah Sweeten is the president and co-owner of Technic Growers Greenhouses and is one of the original founders of Warwick in Bloom. Steering committee members Jackie Leventoff and Fred Stabert drove the judges this week to tour the projects. Please help me welcome Deborah Sweeten, Sullivan Renaissance Judge, and Fred Stabert, Steering Committee member and publisher of Sullivan County Democrat, to the stage to begin the awards.
Now we're ready. Good evening. Donna and I were honored to judge these passionate groups. We evaluated each project based on criteria including beautification, collaboration, and sustainability. Fred, would you please help me announce the Judges' Choice Awards?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me just make sure they're in the right order. Okay. So the first Judges' Choice Award of $500 is for Innovative Solutions. No slides, huh? And the winner is
White Sulphur Springs, Sullivan First.
ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the second Judge's Choice Award.
We practiced this.
Okay. No, we didn't really. Of $1,000 is for the celebration of butterflies. And the award goes to
Greater Berryville Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, the third Judge's Choice Award of $1,000 is for the commitment to the habitat of pollinators. And the award goes to
Naresburg Beautification Group.
Okay. So the next award is the Showing of Flowers Award, and it is for the community whose floral display most wowed us. So for the best overall Showing of Flowers Award of $5,000 goes to
Jeffersonville Gems.
Okay. So the third place award of $5,000 is awarded to
Lumberland Parks and Recreation.
Okay. The second place award for $7,000 is awarded to
Swan Lake Renaissance.
Okay, this is the big one. So the first place award of $12,000 is awarded to
Livingston Manor Renaissance.
Congratulations to all the winners. Everybody did a great job.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Good? All right.
4 more hours and we're out of here.
Yeah.
We're in the home stretch. Okay. 3.5. Okay.
So stretch, you know.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Helen Budrock.
I'm Barry Lewis.
And we are proud to have the opportunity to present this year's municipal awards. Thank you. This is the 4th year, count them, right, Bill? 4 years that we've been doing these grants to local governments, 4 long years, to beautify and maintain public spaces, improve code enforcement, and build healthy communities.
Every local government struggles to provide essential public services with limited tax dollars. The municipal program allows towns and villages to leverage our private funding with their in-kind labor and equipment to accomplish projects that might otherwise fall by the wayside.
Since the program's inception, how long ago, Bill? 4 years ago, Sullivan Renaissance has awarded, get this, $350,000 in grants to 8 towns and 4 villages.
Has Bill's ever won any?
I don't know.
Probably a couple of them?
Yeah, probably a couple. Those municipalities have leveraged our funding threefold, resulting in a total investment of over $1.3 million. Okay? I don't know about you, Barry, but I think that's out of this world.
Right you are, Helen. Certainly on this 50th year anniversary.
8, 7.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Something's happening, Barry.
4.
Hold on.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Gotta hope they're carrying moon rocks and not something else. Should we all be wearing these kind of suits?
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
In case you missed it, he said it was one small step for man, but it's one giant bunch of checks for the people in this audience. This year, 5 municipalities received initial grants of $20,000 each, and will be competing for $400,000 in prizes and awards tonight. As a gesture of appreciation for all their hard work, they will also receive a framed antique map of their community from 1875. They also will be receiving the home version of Sullivan Renaissance. Denise will be participating in each and every one to explain how that all operates. We have asked each participating municipality to speak briefly in their own words about the impact that this program has had on their community. First, we're going to hear from the town of Delaware.
Good evening. I'm a Kiwanian, and some of you, I'm sure, are. Every time we had a steak bake in Callicoon, the host community would have to stand up and say something about their community, and this is kind of like that. All I can say is hurrah for Callicoon, hurrah for Canosa Lake, and hurrah for Hortonville. This year, the passion was unsurpassed. We have a lot of hardworking community volunteers, more than I've seen before, and certainly a lot of passion. So I'd like to thank the Gary Foundation. You really did a good job pulling everybody together. Nothing like a few bucks to bring folks together. So I thank you very much.
Next, we'll have the town of Mamakating come up. Don't you go anywhere, Ed. Hey. Stay here. Come down this way. Come down there. Everybody's going to stay on stage. It'll be fun.
Hi. You know, the challenge that Sullivan Renaissance poses to each community and the money that they support us with, a lot of this stuff wouldn't get done, and you've heard that before. My wife has a saying when she sees somebody that's walking a little bit happier, she says that they've got a hop in their step. And we've noticed that our town employees, since Renaissance have started, have a little bit of better hop in their step. And that's good for production purposes, but we like to see happy employees. We like to see happy visitors, and we like to see the quality of life of our residents improved. And that's what this all does. It's a quality of life thing. And it makes me proud to be the town supervisor of such a wonderful town. It makes me proud to be a resident of Sullivan County and see a community coming together. I've lived in this community almost 40 years, and it's just wonderful when you see this kind of stuff goes on. There's so many bad things. I like to see the character building that goes on with all the volunteers, all these young people that come in. That's wonderful that they're included in volunteer efforts. And thank you so much to Alan and Sandra Gary, the foundation, and everybody that works here. I just also want to tell you one little thing about Bill Herman, because Ann Smith works at Devitt's. In 1980, I was Egbert for 8 years.
Okay. Next, we have the town of Neversink.
Hi. Truly honored to be here today. I should say we, the town of Neversink, are honored. This is actually our first time participating in the municipal grant. Our local chapter of Neversink Renaissance has been here many times and has a very, very successful record under the leadership of Dave Moore. But this year, we're doing it a little different. Dave isn't with us. We have a new person I'd really like to thank who has incredible organizational skills, a ball of energy, Cher Wall, thank you. This particular time around that we're doing this, I wanted to, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't prepare anything. I'm just kind of winging it, so bear with me, thank you. It was at the beginning was a little difficult and we were a little nervous, but in the end, it turned out we got a lot of stuff done. And most importantly, we had fun. We had fun as a group, getting together, having our meetings, getting the project done. And I had fun with Helen Budrock every time we met. Yes, there you are. I had fun with the judges. It was a really good and positive experience. So I'd like to say thank you to Sullivan Renaissance. And Mrs. Gary, thank you so much. I really, really do and appreciate it. And actually, we all appreciate it. All of Sullivan County appreciates what you have done for all of us. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Next, we're going to hear from the town of Thompson.
couple of notes here so I don't forget anything. So good evening and thank you all for being here. The town of Thompson, we're now at the end of a 4-year run with the Sullivan Municipal Partnership Program. I can't stress the amount of effect that this program and the entire 19 years of Sullivan Renaissance has had on this region. It's a gift that's going to last for generations to come. We've trained hundreds of kids to get up here and speak, to work, to plant flowers, to learn what it's like to be part of a community. The energizing of municipal employees and residents alike to get things done in every town in this county. I mean, we've been very fortunate to have had 4 years to participate in this municipal partnership program, and we're not going to do it next year. We're going to take a breather and just give somebody else a chance. And I'll tell you, we're not going away. We have now morphed into a township that's incredibly revitalized, prettier, attractive. We have a town park system that's on the way to becoming a first-class park system that for many, many years there was just no money, no energy to maintain it. Storefronts, roadside cleanups, code enforcement that removes blight. I mean, the town of Thompson probably, I think we're working on probably 20 or 25 different buildings to take down, but this year alone. It all makes a difference. It all has a great, great impact, and without the leadership, organizational capabilities of Sullivan Renaissance, their financial help, and their personal help. I mean, if you call up and you need, what's this flower and what do we do here, you have the answers. So they give you the backbone and the assistance that you need to get the job done. So in brief, I can't thank my staff at the town of Thompson for the last 4 years for everything they've done to pull this together. We get an idea and, somebody runs with it and you can trust that it's going to happen. I'm going to single out 2 people. I get yelled at every time for doing it. Patrice Chester, you've been with it and from the start. Glenn Summers, from the start, you take it to heart and you put so much effort and everything. I just publicly can't thank you and the rest of the staff and towns, volunteers and employees and everything else so much. So I really do. And of course, to Sandra, to Alan, to Aileen for sponsoring this year after year after year. You've, again, given a gift that will last for generations, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
And finally, we're going to hear from the Village of Woodridge.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to represent Mayor Joan Collins and our clerk, Mara Bennett. And of all of us, I'm the most mobile tonight. By the way, I'm also Kiwanian. I was told not to say anything about the weather, the flowers we didn't get planted, the water that waterlogged the displays, but I was told to say, now that the county is doing sharing and everything, Woodridge is doing a project with Sullivan County on the Rails to Trails, connecting Woodridge Rails to Trails to Fallsburg Rails to Trails. I have to thank our Assembly Lady for all her wonderful dollars. We hope you join us. 25 years ago, Mr. Skoda sat with the new county manager, who is now head of Patterns for Progress, and a group of us talked about what could we do to make this community look better. Jerry said, we'll pick a corner, we'll give a $100 prize, we'll clean up a street light, a pole, a corner. And we did that for about 5 to 7 years, and then the Garys came on board, and we took off from there. So although everyone says money is nice, it makes the difference. And so on behalf of the Village of Woodridge, which is a tiny little community that's keeping itself together, we have become a beautiful community with a nice thoroughfare wonderful rails to trails that are used all year round, and we have to thank you all for that.
So before Barry introduces the judges, I should have introduced everybody when they came up. Hopefully they don't need an introduction, but let's start with Thompson Supervisor Bill Reber. Give it up. Supervisor Bill Herman. Supervisor Chris Matthews. And Deputy Mayor Woodbridge Lee Binder. All right, take it away, Barry.
Okay. The municipal partnership grant projects were judged by Nicole Francis, Michael Newhart, and Nancy Proyact. Nicole Francis is a community planner who has served as the director of the Delaware County Planning Department for 16 years. Michael Newhart is currently serving his 4th term as mayor of the Village of Warwick, a community that has won both the America in Bloom and the International Communities in Bloom Beautification Competition. Nancy Proyact serves as the president of the Orange County Citizens Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving quality of life in Orange County through public policy and advocacy. Please join me in welcoming Sullivan Renaissance Judge Michael Newhart to announce this year's Judges' Choice Awards.
Good to see you too. Okay. Before we get going, and since I'm the last judge on the podium tonight, on behalf of the judges, I wanted to thank Sandra and the entire staff of Sullivan Renaissance for the care that they give us as judges so that we can judge you in the best way possible. And the information and the guidance and everything that goes with it. It's a remarkable organization, as we know. Many of us have judged for many, many years, and we've seen the transformation of your communities. But more importantly, I think this is the thing I take away tonight, is we've seen the transformation in ourselves. We have changed, we have altered, we've become better people, we've become we have a greater sense of our place in this planet, and we have greater understanding of what it means to be a neighbor. That's the beauty. That's the real beauty that we create, and that is surrounded by a lot of flowers. Okay, so the municipal partnership grant projects were judged by Nicole Francis, Michael Newhart, and Nancy Proyact. And we have our awards tonight. The first Judge's Choice Award will go to the Village of Woodridge for their work on the Rock Cut project. Thank you. The Rock Cut project that creates greater connection to the O&W trailhead. Okay. Do we want to take photographs of each one, or are we going to wait?
Sure. Are you okay taking a photograph? Sure, we can do it now all together. Okay, that's good. Yep.
And the second Judge's Choice Award, Drum roll, please. Thank you. Sorry you didn't get your drum roll. We'll make that up in the goes to the town of Mamakating for their healthy community efforts and the creation of a beautiful entrance to the rail trail. And the third Judge's Choice Award goes to the town of Neversink for the restoration of Bicentennial Park, including the making it more accessible and fluid. All of the municipalities did a tremendous job this year, and we felt that one really rose to the occasion and deserved an additional recognition for their work. So we added a special award of $10,000, which we would like to give to the town of Neversink for their environmental stewardship and placemaking efforts. So onward. At this time, I'd like to invite Sandra Gary and Assemblywoman Aileen Gunther, Sandra, to stage to announce the winners of the final two awards.
Oh, thank you so much. This evening is truly out of this world, and you're doing such a marvelous job. And I know everyone thanks the Gary Foundation and Sullivan Renaissance, but none of it would have been done without your work. You're the ones who do the wonderful performance. But as you say, a little incentive doesn't hurt, and we owe so much to Aileen Gunther. And years ago, it was our second year with Sullivan Renaissance, and we had Aileen's husband, Jake, came to us at a Renaissance project. Yes. Yes. And we were at De Hoyos Park, and they had a Veterans Memorial, and Channel 6 News was there, and it was really lovely, and so was Assemblyman Jay Gunther. And he said to me, this is really wonderful. Do you think you could use some money? And I said, oh, well, that always helps. So I went home and I said to Alan, Jake, just was talking about this. And he said, Sandra, just ask him. He's waiting for you to ask him. So I called him up, and every year he was able to do that. And then when Aileen became our assemblywoman, she continued the tradition. But she has been such a friend, not only of Sullivan Renaissance, but she's the greatest friend of Sullivan County. She represents all her constituents with such love and passion for everyone in our county. And we're very grateful to you, Aileen. And would you please come on?
Seems like yesterday that Jake told me about this project. It's been years, and today I had it makes me just a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. But at any rate, today I had our grandchild with us to celebrate the Sullivan Renaissance. And I want to thank all of you for coming today. And what a difference a Sullivan Renaissance has made over the past 11 years in galvanizing the support of our friends and neighbors to make our county an even more beautiful place to live. It truly is inspiring. And I want to thank Alan and Sandra for having this dream about positive change. And you know what? That dream brought us all along with them. And you know, I go through the streets of, you know, when I first came to Forestburg, I was kind of horrified by coming up in the middle of the woods and I didn't know anybody. But you know, right now when I think about retirement or what I holds for the future for me, I just can't leave this place. And you know what? We'll continue working together. And I have my partner, Jen, here. And I think that maybe next year, Jen, we can double that money and make it better. Yay! You know, there's something about women. There's something about women. You give us a task and we get it done. And I know, yes, absolutely. Say it again. I don't know if anybody knows that, you know, I'm the assembly person, but Michael Newhart was the president of my high school. So, you know, I always looked up to him, but now I thought I went up to Michael. So, do I have the name of the award? I want to know who won. They didn't tell me. How did everybody like Barry's pink jacket? I thought I was with Fonzie tonight. I'm sorry. I'm pausing. This is a really long drum roll. All right. The name of the winner is the Town of Thompson. Bill Reber, come on down. Jen, do you want to come up with us? Come on up. Come on, Jen. I'm making sure she can come up too.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, where's Jim? Oh,
Patrice, Patrice.
Come.
Please don't go to labor on stage. Okay. Hang on, there's some brief closing remarks. I know you all want to get out of here. I'll make it quick, I promise. All right, hold on, I'm still on. All right, hold on.
Should we get out of here?
No, you can go sit down. I just have a couple of quick. That's all right, I'll just keep going. So congratulations to all the winning communities. Thank you to the staff at Bethel Woods for your hospitality, and to everyone from Granite Associates and the Gary Foundation. Thank you to our judges, to our fellow staff members. I just want to say, that's all right. Each and every one of you here today love Sullivan County. With the 50th anniversary of Woodstock coming up next weekend, I'm reminded of a quote by 60s icon John Lennon, who said, "We've got this gift of love, but love is like a precious plant. You can't just accept it or just think it's going to get on by itself. You've got to keep nurturing it. You've got to keep watering it." Sandra and Alan's generosity and the hard work of people like you are what nurtures the love for this special place where we live. Thank you for staying so long.